right, so I see that we have a few people trickling in. So we're gonna get started, but as usual, we'll start this off with just the basics of how things run inside of these online trainings. So for those of you who might not recognize me, my name is Amanda Bojorquez. I am a real estate agent in Queens, New York, with the Ian Alexander Real Estate Team at eXp Realty. And these trainings are sponsored by Design for Realtors, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But if you are here today, chances are you want to learn some pro strategies, some advanced strategies for Canva, basically how to take your marketing materials to the next level. So we're gonna go over a lot of fun things today, but I do wanna know who exactly is inside of this room. So let's get a lay of the land in terms of Zoom. I'm sure we've all become very familiar with how it works. So if you are on a laptop or desktop, and that's my kitty scratching some cardboard nearby. If you are on a laptop or desktop and you just hover over your screen, you'll see that there is a little chat area where you can chime in during this training. If you have any questions, if you want me to go over something again, cover anything a little more in depth, let me know. I'm happy to do so. I want to make sure that everyone walks away here with a full understanding of the things that we cover. And if you're on a phone, you can just tap your screen. You'll probably see a couple of dots off to the side. Click that, you'll see the chat option, and you can open that up and type in any questions or comments that you might have during the training. So I would love for everyone to share what city, state they're from and what brokerage you're with inside of the chat. This will be great for me to know who's in here with me. I do see that we have more people joining us, so hello. So definitely take a moment to enter into the chat what city, state you're from and what brokerage you're with, just so I have an idea of who's in here with me. Awesome. So I see we've got Long Island in the house. All right, Brooklyn, Port Jefferson, New York. Oh, and sorry, Florida, but originally from Port Jefferson. Cool. All right. Ooh. Okay, we got Canada in the house. All right, that's fun. Cool. So more and more people are trickling in. People tend to roll around in like the 5-10 minute mark. But we're gonna get started because I don't want to penalize anybody who showed up on time. So let's hop in. I'm just gonna share my screen, and we're gonna start talking about advanced Canva design strategies for real estate. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a real estate agent or you are a real estate professional like a mortgage lender or something like that. We do have lenders and investors and things like that who come to these trainings. So thank you for sharing your time with us. And thank you everybody who's here right now for sharing your time with me on this beautiful Tuesday. If you're in New York, it's a beautiful Tuesday. I don't know about anywhere else weather-wise. But a couple of things that we're going to cover are the pro Canva tools. So if you remember, if you might have been with me on Friday's training, possibly, you know that we covered the introduction to Canva, which was, how to actually get started with an account, understanding what tools are available to you, getting started with different types of designs, and we created a couple of things. And we went over the basic principles of graphic design in that class. So if you're watching this as a replay, or maybe you're watching it right now and you're kind of like, oh man, I didn't see the introduction class, don't worry about it. You'll still get the gist of everything that we're covering today. But I do invite you to go to designforrealtors.com and check out the introduction class, which will be up there later today. So you definitely want to make sure that you understand the basics before you start tackling the heavy stuff. So we're also going to talk about incorporating video into your Canva design. If you might have noticed that this training was promoted on Instagram through my page, maybe through Alex's page, you probably saw that there was an Instagram story that I shared that involved video footage of an actual property that we have as a listing right now. So I'm going to show you how to play around with that and have fun with it and create stories that are really going to grab attention and are created and meant for the stories, not just something where a videographer gives you a property tour video and you kind of just throw it up on there, right? We want to get creative here and really stand out from the crowd. We're also going to talk about how to remove backgrounds, which is going to be a lot of fun for creating very unique content with your actual photos. We are going to talk about, ebooks and things like that, and how you can actually drive traffic back to your website by linking inside of the PDFs. And then finally, we're going to cover layering and how you can have fun with that, and it can really bring some depth to your Canva designs. So just a reminder that this training is brought to you by Design for Realtors. It is an e-commerce store that actually has tons and tons of trainings on there in the education area, ranging from introduction to Facebook ads to actually creating an ad from start to finish, squeeze page strategies, how to create e-blasts inside of KV Core, the $200,000 a year real estate agent success formula, how to generate leads organically on Instagram, how to brand yourself on Instagram, etc. There's so many trainings on there, over 20 hours worth, 100% for free. And we also happen to sell planners and hoodies and marketing materials and templates and action plans and things like that. So there's a whole lot of fun to be had over there at designforrealtors.com. So let's jump right in. So what are some pro Canva tools? First things first, of everyone who's in the room right now, everyone has a Canva account, right? Just want to make sure, right? Let me know in the chat, say yes, just so that I know that you have a Canva account. Okay, awesome. I'm getting some yeses. Cool. So I just want to make sure that everyone at the very least has that. So let's actually jump right into Canva, right? And let me pull up just a simple design. We'll actually do Instagram posts, right? So if you're in this class, you probably know how to actually navigate your way through Canva. But some of the features that you get as a pro member, right? Now, I'm not upselling you to Canva in terms of the pro membership, although I do think it's worth its weight in gold in terms of what it costs and what you get from it. But I do want to cover that a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in this particular class would involve you upgrading your account to the pro version. So a few of the things you get are a lot more options in terms of stock images, right? So if I go in here and type in the word living room, right, you can see that on the left-hand side, there's quite a few images that I have to choose from. Now, because I'm a pro member, I have the option to choose any image that's there. But if I wanted to only choose free images, this is what my options, like, these are my options. It kind of gets really the options get smaller, basically. So you do get a lot more in terms of variety for the stock images, and they're pretty awesome. You also have the option for stock video, which you can toggle whether you have the free one or the pro one. So I highly recommend having the pro one because you're going to have a lot more options, which you can have fun with these videos. So something really cool that you could do very quickly, I'll just show you. So you see that I dragged and dropped the video in there. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and stick my image on there, right? And I'm actually just going to remove the background, right? And we're going to talk about this in just a bit. But I just wanted to show you something really quick. And this background remover, I kid you not, I used to be a professional graphic designer. I always will be one at heart. But it takes a really long time to actually properly remove a background inside of Photoshop. Like, it's actual work to get it done. So check this out, right? I've removed the background from my photo. I can go ahead and put my image there, right? If I wanted to just create something super simple, like a very introductory type of promotion or ad for myself, check that out. See, I put that there. I could make that big, right? And if I wanted to, I could even get crazy and move this stuff around where I actually have, let's say, a property video tour, just like hovering over here, right? Let's go to my upload section, and I'm going to show you a little slower how I do this. But let's say that I wanted to just go ahead and throw this one in here, right? This could actually all work like moving at the same time. So like this video would be moving with the video tour there. I can add some text here. And then this background over here that you see, that would actually be moving as well at the same time as the actual video tour, right? And we'll talk about layering later on, but if I wanted to kind of, make this video tour here pop, right? I can just go ahead and push this back there, right? And there you go, right? So that would be moving in the post, right, where I share the video, and this would be moving as well. Now, do I recommend you build this exact one? No, this is a little messy and a little noisy for my personal graphic design taste. But I just wanted to show you how creative you can get in a matter of seconds, right? This didn't even take me, I think, even a full 60 seconds to create. So let me just ditch all of that, right? And that is a whole lot of fun. And you saw that it took me just a couple of seconds to put that together. So we're going to break all of that down, but let me first cover all of the tools that we have at our disposal with the Pro account, and then we'll get into how to actually like use them and have fun and create some really, really cool things. So we talked about how you've got lots of options for stock images. We talked about how in the introduction class that you have all of these elements in terms of grids for images and videos, right? So these are the grids. You have shapes that you can throw in there. You have frames that you can throw in there. You've got stickers that move around that you can throw in there, right? There's charts that you can throw in there. Just a whole lot of stuff, right? Let me ditch all of that, right? And that's available no matter what, if you have a pro or free one. But another advantage is that you have access to music too. So if you wanted to add music to some of the videos that you were adding, you do have the option. Now, disclaimer, don't think of Canva as a video editing tool. What you want to use Canva for is when you have videos and they're done, they're edited, they're ready to go out to the public, then you get creative with those actual videos that you're using, right? That's where the actual fun is. You don't want to go and try to edit your own videos in there, all right? Another tool that you have as a pro Canva user is that you can actually create folders. So if I go down here, right, typically when you have the free account, you have to go and upload everything that you want to use in there, right? But as a pro user, I have the option to create folders. So I have folders that actually have the headshots of everyone who's on my team. I have a folder for all of the logos that I've used for different businesses and platforms that I manage, right? I have for Design for Realtors a few background list options in terms of apparel here that I can quickly use. Sorry if you hear little Jeffy in the background meowing his life away. He gets excited about Canva apparently. I'm teaching over here, mister. So we do have a lot of options for folders that we can create. So you can definitely have a lot of fun with that. Now, another thing that is super, super cool, and I'm telling you, I wish that this existed, that I knew about Canva back when I was a graphic designer, because this could have been an option for me. One thing as a marketer is you might have something that you want to put on Instagram stories, but then you realize, so that's actually a great question, Ismail. Does all this fit in Instagram? I was just about to talk about that. So one awesome tool inside of Canva is the resize tool. And this is available to pro users. And what it does is it'll allow you to resize all of your designs with one click. Now, full disclosure, it doesn't always get it perfect. Sometimes it'll just like, you know, make the file larger, but it won't necessarily resize the text and the photos and things like that. And I'll show you an example of this. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to revert back to the design that I had, right? So this is what we have going on here. If I hit this resize button, which is located on the upper left-hand area, right? This is a perfect square, 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. You can see that right here on the upper left-hand side. If I wanted to say, turn it into a story, right? Because this might actually work well as an Instagram story, right? I could check off story ad, right? And you see that there are quite a few other options, right? But I'm gonna click story ad because for a lot of us, you know, stories are not a square. And you want it to look right and feel right for the actual platform that you're putting it on. And so Instagram, you have 1080 by 1080, which is the perfect square, right? 1080 pixels by 1080. Then you have 1080 by 1350, right? Which is the slightly longer portrait vertical version for Instagram feed posts, right? Because you could do the square one, you could do the vertical one that's slightly longer than the square one, and then you can do the horizontal version, which would be ranges anywhere from like 1350 by 1080 to 1920 by 1080, something like that, right? Then for stories, it's a different story, no pun intended. It's 1080 by 1920, so it's the reverse of an actual video. So I hit that resize button, right? And now it's automatically resized it for me as an actual story. right? So my job now is I see here that this is resized, but I might want to move things around, right? So while it doesn't always get it perfect, right? I'm going to smudge this right here. And then what I might actually want to do is just increase this size here and move it centered, right? And I could even trim this so that it starts right there, right? Maybe even get rid of that, you know, however you'd want to do. And then I could leave my picture over here down at the side, maybe make myself larger. Who knows what your preferred style is, right? You definitely want to leave this bottom area with no text on it, because when you're looking at an Instagram story, for a lot of us, when you look at the phone, this whole bottom portion is like where people would DM you. And then this top portion tends to have your actual like profile name and things like that. So you want to really work with the space that's in the middle of the actual piece of creative. So taking that into mind, right, it would be pretty simple for me to just go ahead and add some text, right? Looking to buy or sell, right? And again, not recommending that you go with this copy, but you can, and when I say copy, I just mean words. For those who might be a little bit new to marketing, if you're watching this later, right? Looking to buy or sell, right? And then you can put some extra stuff, or like view properties for sale, link in my bio. But it was very simple for me to just resize this, right? Which is a Pro Tool option, versus for me to actually go through, create a new design in the size that I'm looking for, and then go and add all of those same elements that I did. If I just hit that resize button, it runs a lot quicker. So we have another question here. And hey, listen, don't worry, ask as many questions as you need. That's why we're doing this live, so that way I can help you. So what's the difference between story and feed? So the difference between story and feed, I'll actually show you. When someone refers to a feed post, they mean on your actual profile. So these individual pieces, right, where you see this one's a perfect square, that is a feed post. Anything that you post directly, right? You can see that this one's a little longer than a square. That one is the one that I referenced, that I said it was 1080 pixels by 1350, right? So 1080 by 1080 is just referring to the pixels. And in the digital world, pixels are kind of like in print how inches are a thing, right? So this might be 2 inches by 2 inches, or maybe 2.5 by 2.5. I believe it's 2 inches by 2 inches. But this actual story is in pixels. I mean, sorry, feed post is in pixels. So that's the feed post. The actual stories are when you go into this little area, right? And you watch the individual stories, right? So these are always 1080 by 1920, right? They're longer. Very, very, very much vertical. So I hope that that answers the question. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll try to specify more so. So that's an awesome tool that you can use to actually, spread your creative assets for your real estate business a long way, right? Because what you don't want to do, and I highly recommend that you take the time to actually listen to me on this and follow this rule. What you don't want to do is create an Instagram story post, but then go and put that on your Facebook feed, right? So let me just get a little more clear on that. On Instagram, you have feed posts, which are directly in your profile. And then you have Instagram stories, which are in the stories area, right, of your profile, where you upload those and they're about 15 seconds long max, and they disappear after 24 hours. On Facebook, you have Facebook stories, which also disappear after 24 hours, and they're the same size as Instagram stories. But on Facebook, the feed posts, right, there are a lot more options on Facebook for the dimensions. And I'll put the different dimensions for different social media sites on designforrealtors.com for the replay of this video, if it's available. I'm hoping so. But you want to pay mind to the dimensions. And so what you don't want to do is put an Instagram story post, which is super long, onto your Facebook feed, where it's just not gonna look right. It's not gonna serve the same purpose. So it's always best to take the time to just resize your designs and create them effectively for the actual platform that you're using. So that way they're digested more easily and just visually and aesthetically more pleasing to the audience that you're trying to speak to, right? So resizing tool, so worth using. Now let's go over to the right hand side and take a look at some of the tools there. So in the download section, right, you saw that we created this with video. One thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you're working with video, you definitely want to download it as a video. Now you can see that it says beta right there, which means that Canva's just testing this feature. It's new. So they're basically telling you in a short story that they're looking for your forgiveness if there are any kinks in the system or bugs or issues whenever you try to download your video. Thus far, I haven't really had any options downloading video since the time of doing this training, of downloading video. No issues there. Where I do have some issues with downloading video designs is on my cell phone. The app itself isn't as robust as the desktop version. So if you're going to work with video, I highly recommend making the video on your laptop or desktop and then just emailing it to yourself so you could quickly download it, because I have run into issues there. So another option are GIFs, which are cool for, especially for Facebook. Another thing is that you can download them PDF print, PDF standard, which we do talk about the differences in the introduction class. So if you have questions about that, be sure to watch that class at designforrealtors.com after this one or whenever you're free. And then PNG. So what would you use PNG for, right? So let's actually ditch all of this. And I'm going to go ahead and put a logo on there, right? So you see that I have a white background with the black logo here for Design for Realtors. So let's say that I wanted to actually be able to download this and not have a background on it, right? What I would do is hit the download button, select PNG, and hit transparent background. Anything with a crown next to it is a pro feature, right? So once I hit transparent background, that means that anything that is white will just, no background on it, right? And then I just hit download, right? And it'll just process my design. And what I'm going to be left with is an actual file that does not have a background. And that's you know, sometimes that comes in handy, especially if you're doing something that requires, you know, layers and layers of work to it, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So those are some of the tools that Canva offers when you upgrade to the Pro account, which I believe for our Pro account, we pay, I think anywhere from like $10 to $12. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's around there. But that's pretty cost effective for the amount of things that you can actually create with Canva. There's an endless amount of things you can make. So we've touched a little bit on incorporating video into your designs. So let's actually talk a little bit more about that. So earlier today, I actually created an Instagram story for our real estate Instagram, where you have you know, this is the story size. Let me just let that load up. Okay, cool. The Wi-Fi is cooperating. So I'm gonna hit play. I'm gonna lower the music because it doesn't always come off right on Zoom. So you can see here, this is an Instagram story. I have the price, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, the address underneath it. I left space so that that little area that we talked about on Instagram stories where people can message you for a story, it's not, you know, blocking the actual address. And I left some space up here because I know that my little profile head is going to be up there, right? So this is 15 seconds long. So how did I actually create this, right? So let me go ahead and show you. So one thing that can be really fun with Canva, especially with videos, is to give your videos a fresh face. For a lot of us, we get real estate videos of our properties, and oftentimes we just share them as is. We just take the we take the horizontal version that videographers or photographers give us, and we just send it out into the world like that. But it, you know, you share it once or twice, 3 times maybe, and it kind of becomes like, bleh, like it's not as exciting to share it repeatedly. But with Canva, when you incorporate video to your designs, you can then freshen it up and have fun with it. So I see we have a question here. Ismail asks, if you want to add a different color for the background. Yes, you absolutely can add a different color for the background. That's 100% possible. It's pretty flexible when it comes to the things you can do with Canva. So all I did here was choose an Instagram story size, right? And we're just gonna quickly recreate what we've made over here. right? So let me just show you what elements go into actually creating this. So first, we go to the elements section on the left side, and I tap on a grid, right? So this grid takes up the full size of the Instagram story. Next, I'm gonna want to choose a square, right? From the shapes area that we talked about, I'm gonna wanna choose a square, and then I'm just gonna resize that square to about there, and move it to there, right? Now you can change it to whatever your brand colors are, but I'm just gonna go with black. That's the color we tend to use. Then I'm gonna use another square and just drag that down to about here, right? And I'm gonna make that black as well. And then I'm gonna put some text. I'm gonna move this text over here and turn it white, so that way it pops. In the introduction to Canva class, we talked about design principles. And one of the most basic design principles is using contrast to make things pop and really stand out on the eye, right? So co-op for sale, I'm just gonna make all of that capital, and I'm just gonna drag to make this larger, right? So that way it really just pops, okay? So it's loud and proud saying co-op for sale, right? The next thing that I need is to actually promote the fact that, you know, the price is 160K, right? I'm gonna expand that, probably make it bold, right? All caps, bring that here, and then I'm gonna make it white because I do want it to stand out when I throw the video in there. So just for the sake of time, I'm gonna actually copy these portions and just paste them onto here, so that way I'm not looking for which font I used and all of that stuff. So we have the basic breakdown, right? I'm just gonna drag this down a little bit, right? So we have the basic breakdown, right? Now, what's cool about this is I can actually just leave this design alone. So here's an idea for you. You might be a real estate agent who doesn't have a butt ton of listings, right? It happens to us all. So you might be in quarantine possibly right now, and you know, it's gotten a little bit tricky for you possibly in your market to get more listings. Not saying that's the case, but if it is, a way that you can make this work is by reaching out to other real estate agents who possibly have listings. Everybody's looking for help to really get the property sold now. And you can ask, hey, would it be okay if I take your property video tour and I shared an Instagram story about it, right? And you can choose to include like listing provided by XYZ listing agent and broker, etc., right? Small text there, right? But this is a way for you to consistently have Instagram stories of video tours of properties, right? Where you send people who are watching the Instagram story to the link in your bio, which is going to in turn get you leads for free because you didn't pay for ads, right? So just an idea. And the idea is that you use this as a template. What we've created here, I can actually just walk away from this design and save it as a template, right? So that means that at any point in time, I can just pop on in here on the computer and drag and drop whatever video that I want to put in here, right? So let's say that it was for this particular property. You can, my face is moving and talking in there, right? So I can do that, and this could be one Instagram story, right? Let's undo that one. Or I can put the one that I just used, right? And what I wanna do is ditch the actual big logo. So I'm gonna have the video selected, and up here in like the middle towards the left section, hit that trim button. You can see that I have the option to trim the video. So I wanna trim it right before the logo, and then I wanna trim the rest of it until I hit just under 15 seconds, right? Because all Instagram stories are maximum of 15 seconds long. And there you go. That is the first one that we created. But remember, for everything that you create, you can use it as a template. So that way you have repetition with your brand, with your marketing materials, and things look consistent across the board. So you would want to make something like this as an actual template. Does anyone want this particular design, like right now? Let me know in the chat if you want this particular design, like you want me to just send it to you, and you can have it. You can use it, and you can put your property tour in there. Yeah? Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna share it with you. So let's name it Instagram story property tour. I'm seeing some lots of yeses coming in. Okay, great. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna share it. Hold on. Let me actually. Let's share that. Here we go. Okay, so Instagram property tour, right? Template. Here we go. So I am going to just remove the video there because you'll be able to put your own video. I'm going to hit that share button. And here's another pro tool that we actually didn't cover in the beginning. Shame on me. You can share your template designs with other people, which won't mess up your design, which means that if you are a team leader or you're the more per se creative person of your team and you have fun creating these things for the team, you can actually make these designs and then share them with the people in your team. So I'm going to go ahead and put this inside of the chat. So that is the link. Let me know if everyone can actually access that. So if you were to click on that and just copy it and email it to yourself or save it in your notes or something like that, let me know if that's easy for everyone to grab, to just put it in there. So there you go, you have it. Now you can use that. If you're watching this as a replay, I'm sorry, I cannot give you the design. You weren't here live, so only everybody who's in here live is going to have access to that design. So let's go ahead and actually move forward with the next one. So the next one, right, same thing that we created. So let me just show you how it looks without any of the images or videos, right? This is what it looks like. So it's the same thing as this one that we worked with, right? But now this is another template wherein I can actually put either property photos or I can put video, right? So I chose to add the video here, which is another Instagram story. And I also chose to put property photos underneath it with a call to action that says view homes for sale at the link in our bio, right? How cool is that? Is everyone enjoying this? Does this seem like stuff that you can actually like do? So we see, okay, yes, awesome. So people are saying yes, awesome. We can do this. And then I see Jen says that she actually had a video. Okay, now fully understanding the comment on that one, Jen. But if you want to clarify, let me know. So let's move forward. So we talked about how to incorporate video, right? We touched slightly in the beginning on background removal. So here's something really cool that you can do with background removal. So let's actually do an Instagram post, right? And I just work with Instagram here because it's very simple. It's just a square. You can have a lot of fun and create so many different things. So let me show you something really cool that I did for Alex, right? And this is something that we actually had quite a bit of fun with. You're gonna see all these crazy designs that we've done. We work on so many different things and collaborate with so many people and brands between Design for Realtors, our real estate team at eXp Realty that, you know, Canva just has a whole lot going on inside of it. So let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see. Or actually, what am I doing? I should use the easy part of this tool. Here we go. Let me search for Alex's design. It might actually be with his account. Okay, nonetheless, we will create it from scratch. Okay, so we talked about the background removal tool. So let me just grab a photo of Alex. Let's see, where's he at? Where's he at? Let's say that we take, I want to get like a cool photo of him where he's actually kind of like not looking at the camera. I don't want to use his headshot because the headshot one, I don't know, I feel like that's always such a professional photo, and I want to show you something fun that you can do with Canva. So let's, you know what, let's use this one. So I'm actually going to remove the background from this image, and it's just with one click and you just wait for it to happen, right? And I'm going to show you something cool that you can do where we're going to cover the fact that you can remove the background, but then also add text and use layering to make it really cool and just work for you, right? So we're going to ditch the bottom of the legs there. And I might actually ditch more of him. Yeah, let's go there. I'm going to go like that and then bring this up, right? And let me see, do I have another? actually, I like this photo better. See, the difficulty of designing, you always change your mind, but that's half the fun of it. So you're seeing in real time the stuff that I go through with trying to pick something. This is very, very real. This happens. So what I'm gonna do now is the background is removed. What I want is something that's kind of like dark. So I'm just gonna type the word black into the image search area on the left-hand side here. So let me take, I kind of like this. Let's throw that in there. And then I'm just gonna move out the sides here because it's gonna be easier for me to work with his image, right? I can put that there and let's move him off to the side. And then I can actually adjust him so that he doesn't have a color, right? He's just black and white. And let's say like I increase his contrast. Now, here's where the fun part comes in, where like if you are a real estate agent who would like to have content that looks like this, right? So I can go ahead and take this text option here, right? And let's go ahead and I'm gonna ungroup them. So this just means that I'm separating them from one another. Let's do away with that. And what's a cool quote? What's something inspiring that would be, I see we have a question here. How do you remove the background again? I think I covered that, but just in case, you would just drag and drop a photo into the design area, hit effects here on the middle towards the left side, and then hit background remover. And that's it. And you'll just wait, let it process. And then when you see that the background is removed, it's ready to go. So let's go with everything you want is on the other side of comfort, right? I'm not going to pretend to know who actually said that because I honestly have no clue. But it is an awesome quote that I particularly really like. So we can do like, I need everything to fit. There we go, right? And we can put this there, right? And then I can actually go ahead and put his Instagram handle, scooch this down a little smaller, right? And this would be an example of an inspirational quote, right? And then I can use the position tool to bring him forward, right? So now I've created depth to this actual design. Now I want that comfort word to pop just a little more. So I might move him over a little, but I want his sleeve. Everyone see his sleeve covering that C letter? So in the design world, this is everything, like just creating that slight amount of depth into the design, right? And bring him a little bit larger. I know it's showing up a little bit blurry, but that's just, Wi-Fi and it trying to, make everything easier to work with, right? But look at that. This is a very simple, right, if I wanted to center that there, this is a very, very simple design that could be used on your Instagram in where you would alternate, right? It could be a picture of a property and then an inspirational quote with your photo on top of it, kind of thing, right? And this is a perfect example of using layering. So let's say that we wanted to kind of bring the color back in here, right? Because maybe it would pop more if he were in full color, right? How do we like that better? That actually pops more. Now I regret the fact that I made him black and white. This looks way better, right? So isn't that a fun way, like as a real estate agent, that's just another way to like throw different pieces of content into there. And you can actually do this also with things like real estate advice, right? Instead of a quote, you put some type of real estate advice in there, or how to make your credit better, anything that pertains to your target audience, the people that you're trying to speak to, whether it be buyers, sellers, or renters, right? So that's one creative way to use the background removal tool. Now, let's talk really quickly about actually linking PDFs, right? So in the previous introduction class that we did last week, and if you're watching this on replay, you can see it at Design for Realtors in the education area. We talked about top projects for your, top projects for you to tackle on Canva for your real estate brand. Now, one of those things was actually first-time buyer ebooks, seller's guide ebooks, right? Listing presentations, right? Flyer templates. So here's the thing. Let's talk about linking PDFs. As a real estate agent, we touched on this in the introduction class, and I'm just going to bring it up again because it's super, super important, and it can actually garner you business while you sleep. Like, this is my bed right behind us. I could be sleeping and we get leads. And I'm not just talking about leads inside of the DMs. I'm talking about on our website through our CRM. And how you could do this is you go into Canva and you create a first-time homebuyer ebook. You don't actually have to be a phenomenal copywriter. When I say copywriter, I just mean a writer of words, right? You don't have to be a phenomenal one. In fact, I invite you to get creative. Don't even write it yourself. You might have all the advice in the world, and you could have a friend or family member or go on Fiverr or Fiverr, however you say it, .com and hire someone to take your bullet points of information and write it out. Or you could pull inspiration from another broker or agent who has one, and you kind of like, you like the information that they put in there. Just don't plagiarize them, you know. Or you could create a first-time home buyer ebook that has all of the information provided by a mortgage lender. And it's purely about mortgages, and you just have your contact information in there. That's an option. You didn't have to write anything. You didn't have to provide anything except for the design, and the mortgage professional was able to provide you with the hard information, right? Maybe you're a new real estate agent and transaction knowledge just isn't your forte just yet, right? It's okay. There's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. You figure it out. Get creative. Now, what do you do with this PDF? You used Canva to create the PDF. Now, what do you do with it? You have a website, which we talked about in the introduction class. You have a website, you set up a squeeze page, landing page, whichever way you want to go with it, preferably a landing page. And what you do is you request that someone provide their name, email, phone number in order to get that first-time homebuyer ebook. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's like not rocket science. I've seen that before on Google and every other coach's teaching curriculum. Yeah, I know. I'm not sharing anything new. What I'm talking about is the next step. So you've given them this PDF, right? The chances are they're just going to look at it on their phone or something like that. But what happens after the PDF? What if you try to contact them and you're not able to get through? How do you get them to circle back? Here's an option using Canva and links. Inside of your PDF, you have a whole host of other CTAs that the first-time home buyer or the seller, whomever the PDF was for, right, the ebook, right? Whoever it was for, you have other CTAs inside of that ebook that they can wind up clicking. Enjoyed this ebook? Would you like to view other properties for sale? You send them right back to your website. Easy peasy. They're back there again, right? They might have to sign up again if they provided the wrong information before, or possibly it's a different web page, right? You could send them anywhere. Interact with me on social media where I share all the latest homes for sale and see behind the scenes real estate life, right? Invite them to connect with you there. You can put that as a button inside of your PDF when they download that ebook. So let me actually show you an example of it, right? So let's actually create a new design. And I'm just going to type in the word flyer. We're not making a flyer, but I'm just going to use that because it's the same dimensions as a typical ebook PDF that you would send out to a first-time home buyer or a seller. Now, while we wait for the Wi-Fi to get on board with us, you know, I'm not going to put together an entire design, but I do want to show you something that could be really cool. So let's just use a Canva template, right? This is just something that Canva provides. And let's say that this individual photo here, let's type in living room, right? We're going to drag and drop a living room photo into there, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a button, right? Let's make this fun, right? Just scoosh that there. I'm going to move this down here. And let's pretend that all of these words are actually relevant to a first-time home buyer. Now I need some text, right? And I'm going to hit view homes, right? Put that there. Now, does this look like a button? Like, does your mind naturally sort of look at that and say, okay, like that's clearly a button. I could possibly click it, right? And if you're unsure, what you could do to help the first-time home buyer actually feel that way is to say it. Interested. Let's zoom in so everybody can see this a little closer. Let's do 125. There you go. Interested in viewing the newest homes for sale? Click below. Now you've let them know that it's clickable, right? would everyone here kind of like, just based off of if you read that and you're a first time home buyer, you would know to click it, like, oh, it's a button, maybe I should smack it, right? How do we actually turn it into a button, right? Because we want to bring people back to the website. We want them to re-interact with us. And if you're not sending them to the website, maybe you're sending them to a educational YouTube video, right? Maybe you have a YouTube channel that you've set up and you would like them to start learning from you, your face, right? Just like how we're interacting here, right? I'm building a relationship with you right now, right? For a lot of people who attend these classes, you write to me on Instagram and we become friends, right? I invite you to do so. So this button here, how do we make it an actual button? How do we make it clickable? You're gonna tap on the text, right? So you see that I have this selected. And then you're actually going to hit this link button. So it's right here. I'm going to try to make my mouse fat. There we go, right? This area, right? You're going to hit that link button and you literally just put the web address that you want people to go to and hit apply. And so when you actually export this design, right? Let's say this is your whole ebook. Hopefully it's longer than one page. If not, no judgment. But when you export this design, and when I say export, it just means, you download it as a PDF, whether it's standard or print, which we go over in the introduction class. If you want to check that out, designforrealtors.com. You just download it, and then whatever platform you're using to send it out to first-time home buyers or home sellers and things like that, they have the option to click these buttons inside of your ebook, and that's a second chance for you to interact with them, whether it be that you're sending them to social media, sending them to sign up for some type of like other style of newsletter, sending them to a YouTube channel, or sending them on social media. I don't even know if I said that before, but so many things that you can send them to, right? So does that sound like something that everyone here could do? Yeah, I think so. I think this is very doable for everyone. Right? If you can write a property description, I'm pretty sure you can take a stab at creating a really fun ebook for first-time home buyers or sellers. Cool. So that is how you would use linking in your PDFs. So just a quick reminder that this training is brought to you by Design for Realtors, designforrealtors.com, where you can actually see all of the trainings that we have. I mentioned earlier, there's over 20 hours of trainings on the website. All of them are 100% free, and most of them are actually an hour, if not more. So there's just so much education going on in there. We also have the Real Estate Agent Planner Pro, which is a 5-star rated real estate agent favorite. It helps you break down your commission and just like make a commitment to your actual real estate goals. Super, super awesome. We literally made it because we couldn't find a real estate planner out there that worked for us. So thank you so much for attending this training. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that maybe I covered and like you're not too sure about it? Let me know. Questions? Going once, going twice. I never know if I say what like if you have questions, and if no one has questions, I'm like, did I teach it well enough that there's no questions, or was like everyone bored? I never know. Oh, we have a question. Okay, so the background removal. All right, I'll show that one more time. So in order to remove the background, when you actually create, let's go with this one. When you actually create a design, right? So you have a design open. Let's say that you want to remove the background. I'll just click this one, right? Let's say this image of me. I want to ditch the background. You have the image selected, so you see these little blue lines around it. That means it's selected. Then in this area, which is like the upper left, like middle section, you're gonna hit the button effects. Now you have to have a pro account, okay? You hit the button effects, and then this option here, background remover, you hit that, and it's gonna process. Don't click anything until after it processes, right? So you see there that you have that image, right? And then you can actually put a background behind it. So let's say I wanted to just throw that living room there. Boom, there I am. Ooh, let's undo that. You always have the undo button. And then boom, I'm just chilling in the living room. Awesome, right? I'd never post this. This is just embarrassing. But that is how you remove the background. So Ismail says, I just started using Canva, didn't know what I was doing. It took me 3 hours to do a photo for Instagram. LOL, now I know better. That is so awesome, and I can't even tell you how happy that makes me. I'm glad that you know better. If you haven't taken the introduction class, I highly recommend that too, because honestly, designing is it can do wonders for your brand, for your business, for your marketing. But if you don't understand the basic principles of graphic design, you're going to have trouble with actually creating things that are going to be consistent, repetitive, and on brand for you and your business. So I highly recommend taking the introduction class if you haven't. So I'm getting a lot of thank yous, and thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Like, honestly, I'm spending time here with you today, but you're also spending time with me, and I don't take that lightly. I appreciate you taking an entire 60 minutes out of your schedule today to actually sit and learn this and participate and watch and ask questions. And I really, really, really hope that this is able to help you in your business, because we genuinely would love to see real estate agents who just interact with us and things like that just take their business to the next level, because that can be very fun as well as financially rewarding. So if no one has any more questions, we are going to wrap it up. Alex is actually going after me, not for training, but he's doing an EXP Realty Explained at 5:30 today. So I gotta get out of here. But I love you all. Thank you so much for participating in this today. And as always, myself, Alex, Design for Realtors, we are wishing you many, 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 many happy new clients, 5-star Zillow reviews, accepted offers galore, and tons of closings, sending you all that positivity. I hope that you and your family are doing very well today and every day for that matter. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.